You reach for your phone before you even notice you're doing it. A single quiet moment, and your hand is already moving. Boredom feels unbearable to you. It has for most of your life. But for roughly 300,000 years, your ancestors had no phone, no screen, no endless feed to escape into, and somehow they survived long stretches of nothing happening at all. So how did ancient humans actually kill boredom? And why does the answer suggest that your brain isn't broken, just starved of something it used to get every single day? Let's start with a hard truth. Boredom is not a modern invention. It's an ancient, evolved signal. Neuroscientists and psychologists who study attention describe boredom as your brain's way of telling you that your current environment isn't giving you enough stimulation or meaning, and that you should go find some. It's not a flaw. It's a nudge. The question is, what your ancestors did the moment that nudge arrived. Anthropologist James Sussman, who spent years studying the Drew Hoansi of the Kalahari, found something that upends the assumption that ancient life was a non-stop grind for survival. His research suggests that many hunter-gatherer societies actually worked far fewer hours than people in industrial and post-industrial economies, often somewhere in the range of 15 to 20 hours a week securing food. That leaves an enormous amount of unstructured time that had to be filled with something. Why does that matter? Because it destroys the myth that ancient humans were too busy surviving to ever feel bored. They weren't. They had long stretches of open time, just like you do. The difference is what they did inside it. Here's where it gets interesting. A landmark 1963 study by anthropologist Richard Lee, observing the Wakungsan, documented daily life in extraordinary detail, and one of the most striking patterns was how much time was spent on conversation, storytelling, and social interaction that had no practical survival purpose at all. People sat together for hours, not producing food, not building tools, just talking, gossiping, arguing, laughing. This wasn't wasted time in their eyes. It was the primary way humans have always filled the empty hours. So let's reconstruct the scene. Midday. The sun is high and there's nothing urgent to do. A small group sits in the shade near camp. Someone starts telling a story they've told 100 times before, but this version has a new detail, a slightly different ending. Another person starts working a piece of wood into a tool, not because it's needed right now, but because their hands want something to do. A child draws shapes in the dirt with a stick. Somebody hums, half a tune, nothing finished. Nobody is entertaining anybody. Everybody is just present, filling the space with each other. This is the counterintuitive twist. We assume boredom needs to be defeated with constant novelty, a new video, a new notification, a new distraction every few seconds. But the evidence from small-scale societies suggests the opposite. Boredom was mostly resolved through repetition and social connection, not new stimulation. The same stories retold, the same songs hummed again, the same faces every single day. And it worked, because the boredom wasn't actually about lacking new content. It was about lacking connection and purpose. And repetition with real people solved that just fine. Archaeological evidence backs this up in a different way. At sites like Blombos Cave in South Africa, researchers have found engraved ochre pieces dating back roughly 75,000 years, deliberate geometric patterns carved by hand with no clear practical function. Not a tool, not food, not shelter, just a mark, made because a human wanted to make it. Many archaeologists interpret this as some of the earliest evidence of symbolic thought, and quite possibly, some of the earliest evidence of a bored human doing something simply because their mind wanted an outlet. That single detail changes how you should think about boredom. It's not new that humans need something to do with idle time. What's new is what fills that time now. Here's the trap in modern life. Your brain still runs on the same ancient boredom response system your ancestors had, but the environment around it has completely changed. Instead of a slow afternoon filled with conversation, storytelling, and small repetitive tasks, You have an infinite scroll engineered specifically to interrupt your boredom the instant it appears. The moment your brain sends that ancient signal, find something, a notification is already there, waiting to answer it instantly, with almost zero effort and almost zero real connection behind it. Psychologists studying attention and reward have noted that this constant, instant resolution of boredom may be part of why modern boredom feels so much more unbearable than it likely did for your ancestors. Your ancestors' boredom was slow to build and slow to resolve, filled gradually through conversations, small tasks, and shared attention. Yours gets interrupted in under 3 seconds, which means the muscle for actually sitting inside boredom and letting your mind wander towards something meaningful barely gets used anymore. Here's the mirror. That itch you feel to check your phone in a quiet moment isn't weakness. It's an ancient system, doing exactly what it was built to do, just aimed at a target that was never designed to satisfy it the way a real conversation, a slow task, or an idle afternoon with other people once did. The next time boredom hits and your hand reaches for your phone automatically, remember what actually solved it for most of human history. Not new content, not a fresh feed, just another person nearby, an old story worth retelling, and hands that wanted something small to do. You reach for your phone before you even notice you're doing it. Your ancestors reached for each other instead, and it worked for 300,000 years.